Hi guys, it is match day and it's a FA Vase game, so an FA competition. Super excited. All FA competitions like the Vase, the Trophy and the FA Cup are obviously great competitions to be involved with. You get the appointment directly from the FA, so you must be doing something right or you're just available, one or the other. Today and this week has been a bit different for me. I've had, as a normal kind of life in an entrepreneur's life, you have a roller coaster. So I've had lots and lots of highs this week. It's been a really good week, but the last 24 hours personally has been a bit down. And actually I'm going away next week to Denmark and I can't find my passport anywhere. So I've got mad anxiety. And I did something different this week, which was I went for a few runs. I went for a 5k run on Monday, 5k run on Thursday, and for some reason I decided to go for a 5k run today, the morning of match day, at 6:30, and I think that's just because the anxiety was building up more for my passport than the game. So hopefully I'll find it later on. I've looked everywhere, but I'm hoping to find it. But what I'm going to do today, just to help ease my nerves, is something slightly different. I've done it a little bit before days at work. But I've never done it before a game. So what that is meditation. So some people are going to laugh and think you're stupid, and some people are going to be like, oh yeah, cool, I've wanted to try that, or some people are doing it already. So I'm going to try and get to the game about 10-20 minutes before I need to be there. I'm going to park around the corner somewhere random, so no one sees me, and I'm going to try and meditate for a 10-minute slot, just to try and get my head back and kind of focused on football rather than thinking things through while I'm officiating. So I don't know if you guys, how do you guys solve that issue of like something on your mind that's from your personal life or from work, and how do you switch off and not think about it during the game? Normally when you get changed and you get ready and you're warming up and you walk out, it's pretty easy to focus and get things off your mind. But just wondered, how do you do it? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. So yeah, the game's about a 40-minute drive, so I'll probably leave an hour before just so I can do that meditation. And I'll aim to get to the venue about an hour and a half before kickoff, which is what the referees asked for. So I will keep you in the loop as the day goes on. So I just I just parked up around the corner from the ground, did my 10 minutes of meditation, feeling a lot more calm, a little bit more chilled, and now I've just turned up at the venue. I don't think you can see it much out of the back window, but I'll keep you in the loop as the day goes on. Just finished the game, ended up 4-0. The referee gave early penalty, and the home team were 2-0 up at after 17 minutes, and that's how it finished at half time. And then they scored another 2 in the second half. 4 yellows overall. Pretty good game, to be honest. It was a pretty easy first half for me because it was down the other end, and the second half was a lot more work. The meditation helped. I was a lot more focused and a lot more chilled, and surprisingly the 5k actually this morning made me feel better. I felt pretty good during the warm-up. Normally I've found when I've come to Hampshire, the referees like to give you a big warm-up, intense warm-up, and today it was fine. And yeah, I managed to get through the game really easily. There was a VO camera on being recorded, so I've asked for the footage. So hopefully next thing you'll see from me is talk about the clips, and we'll go from there. So we're 10 minutes into the game. The green team are the home team, Laverstock and Ford. They've just gone through kind of in breaking into the final third in the attacking phase, get a foul, and there's a free kick about 30 yards out that gets whipped in, left-footed. Keeper comes for it, and an attacker or a defender someone from the attacking team goes up and challenges the goalkeeper for the ball, and then the ball falls to one of the home team strikers and taps it in the net. But the referee here gives a foul for the challenge on the goalkeeper. Now, if you watch it back, it's really difficult to really know just how much of impeding the attacker does, but I think you're going to get this foul pretty much 9 times out of 10 on the goalkeeper. As soon as that goalkeeper's in the air and there's somewhat of an attacking piece of contact, you're most likely going to see a foul result from here. It's just how football is, you know, that's where we are. You saw it actually against Man City and Brighton. It was slightly different, but this to me was a pretty easy decision that you'd get 9 times out of 10. So in the 16th minute of the game, Laverstock come forward again. I've got the ball, progressing through the thirds, plays the ball into the box, and the yellow defender has challenged the attacker who's about to get the ball. Now, from my angle, on the day, it looked like the defender had actually won the ball, and so does the two benches probably think that as well. But actually, watching the video back, it looks pretty clear that the defender's gone through the attacker. So I think this is a great play from the referee. What you'll hear me now saying to the bench is, this is where I'm going to have to start to have conversations with the bench, because
next time you want to keep going, I'll get rid of you. We don't need that. Hey, buddy, I don't give up my Saturday to be spoken to like that. If you want to keep going,
what you hear is the bench shout, "We get dog shit referees every week." And I turn around and I've got a decision here to make. I could basically call the referee over and say, look, this is what's been said. Leave it to the referee to make a decision. Does he want to warn them, yellow card them, red card them? Obviously there's a penalty incident occurring right now, so he probably doesn't want me getting him involved in any sense of the word. Now, I could go back to them and be aggressive and basically give them a really stern warning. But what I decided to do was try and combat that kind of comment with my own comment back, which was, guys, we get dog shit teams every week, so it's only fair. And actually it kind of diffused the situation at the time. You know, but in all honesty, what does he expect me to do in this situation from the bench? I have no comms kit, I can't give any feedback. Actually, probably I would have given the referee the wrong feedback, because I had the same view as the bench at the time. Again, looking at this video, it looks like me and the bench were wrong. It looks like it was a penalty. So, yeah, maybe it's not everyone's style. Maybe some of you might think, oh, you can't really swear at players or managers, or, you know, you wouldn't want to have that type of conversation with them. This is the decision I made on the day, and it seemed to work. It seemed to calm things down. And what you'll hear is the bench start to get involved, the substitutes start to get involved, and again, the only opportunity I have there is to say something smart, and I just turn around and say, guys, I'm involved in this game today, you're not right now, let me get on with my job. So sometimes you've got to try and give what you're getting back, and let's see how it lands, and it worked for me on that day. What's really interesting is after the penalty has been scored, the guy who takes the penalty decides to boot the ball away. I have no idea what was going through his head here. Maybe he was trying to just smash it back into the goal net, but he just boots it away to the corner flag. I don't think the referee really has much of a choice here. We're 16 minutes into the game. You know, is it delaying the restart of play? You're going to go for a goal kick. It's going to go for a kick-off, but honestly, really, he has to give the yellow card here. It's mandatory. So 41 minutes into the game, and I think this is a really interesting clip, because it looked like a naughty challenge, that is about to go in, and but listen to the reaction. Most of the players and the managers are even just querying where the ball is, whose ball is it next. Whereas you'll see the green player is staying down on the floor. I think this is potentially a really bad challenge. Almost certainly a yellow card and maybe a red. Even though the player wins the ball, look, I'll just watch it back. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I think it's a pretty poor challenge, maybe even borderline red. But referee decides not to give it. If you look at the player reaction, no one really wants a foul here. But I actually just really think that's a bad challenge. He's kind of on the ball, but he's probably followed through really high and with force. It almost has to be a yellow, possibly a red, but maybe I'm just watching this back wrong. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So we're just walking back out onto the field for the second half, and the reason I'm showing you this clip is, and you can't really see anything, but basically the manager that said that comment earlier about dog shit referees is basically, we're having a chat as we're walking back to the benches, and he's basically saying he apologised for the comment. He actually appreciated the banter back and said it helped calm him down, and he's just sorry, he was frustrated, and so it worked. The whole kind of giving them something back as good as they gave worked, and I think he really appreciated just, you know, having a bit of a conversation actually, rather than just me dismissing him and just saying it was a penalty and not listening or not having a conversation. So in this situation it worked. And it's super important to be really focused when you start the second half. The game's going straight into it. There's a bit of tempo. They're probably a bit egged up from the manager's talks, and so it's really important that you're on it from the first whistle, because something may happen. So there you have it. We're barely 30 seconds, maybe a minute into the second half, and we've got a big decision to make. A pretty key incident for multiple reasons. One, the home team are winning 2-0, and this is their defence has made a challenge on the attacker for the away team. Now we've got to think about, is it serious foul play? Is it dogzo? Is it just a yellow card? So these are the conversations that the referee is having with the assistant referee. He's got his own view when he blows for the foul. He's going to just ask some feedback of the assistant referee. Why not? He's really close to it. Let's get some conversation happening. And ultimately, they've made a decision that the decision should be a yellow card for the foul, for stopping a promising attack. To me, I actually think this is right. I don't think there is dogzo here. I think you could argue that the attacker doesn't have the ball, or he's going away from goal. From my distance and from this camera angle, I couldn't tell if there was potential for serious foul play. Was it a really excessive challenge? I don't think it was. So overall, the referee and the assistant referee came up with the conclusion it was a yellow card, and I think it was a correct decision. But definitely, you got to, from that first whistle in the first minute and the first whistle in the second half, you got to be switched on straight away, because you never know what's around the corner. So we're in 75th minute, not much has happened, a few goals, and then we've got a goal kick and the ball comes down the line, and you'll see this field is kind of on a hill, so the ball stays in and everyone's expecting it to go out, and then this challenge comes in, quite a rash challenge from the yellow centre back, and comes through the attacking right winger. Now to me, in real time, I was really close to the decision. It looked really forceful, the challenge, and I looked at speed. When I watch it back, it doesn't really look that forceful. So in my head, you'll see I'd given really agitated flag. It's definitely a card for me. Probably I was thinking maybe it could have been more if there was probably more of a reaction, right? Like I feel like he caught him quite high. Maybe the force felt, the speed felt quite, it felt quite a fast challenge, like the guys come in quite far, and but I think because I'm so close, I may have been kind of, you know, it's always good to have different views, and the referee in this scenario probably had the best view. He can see the whole play, and he's decided yellow card. He's looked over at me, I've pointed at card, but he didn't want to, he wasn't wanting any more information, so I didn't need to taint his view. He went for a yellow card, and overall watching it back, whereas I thought it was probably maybe borderline red, it's almost certainly a yellow card, and that's all it needed. So I'm quite glad that the referee didn't come over and speak to me on this occasion. But it just shows, just watching this back shows me the importance of viewing points. I was so close to the incident, and actually watching the video back, it doesn't look as bad as when I first saw it. So viewing points, angles, we've all got a piece of the jigsaw. That's what we always say. Every one of us as officials, we see it from different angles, and we don't have the full picture. We have a jigsaw piece. When we put it together, we can make we can see the full picture. So I thought this next clip was really important to share. There's a lot of talk about abuse in the game at the moment, especially directed at officials. And on this day, on this occasion, I was getting quite a lot of stick from a certain group of maybe 4 or 5 guys who were actually with the home team, who were winning 3 or 4-0 at this time. But they would just keep giving me kind of quite personal comments that I just thought were just unnecessary. So I basically called the referee over and said, look, I'm getting some crap. Can you tell the gaffer or the managers or the home team to go and have a word, because next time we're gonna either have to get rid of them, or I'm just gonna give up today. So the referee, probably, again, this is a bit of a surprise to the referee, because actually the referee hasn't heard any of this. It's not like I'm calling him over for extra feedback on a decision that he's made on the field. It's just something completely new. So the referee stayed calm, went over to the managers and asked them to go and deal with it, which, to be fair to them, they did, and they were actually really apologetic after the game. But yeah, I think we have opportunities or we don't have to deal with it as referees. If we want, you know, there is no room in the game for any form of abuse. So on that day, I decided, hey, I'm not going to stick up. I'm not going to stand around for this. So I asked the referee and the team to go and sort it out, and they did, which was great. Really important here is I called him over at a stoppage in play. It was a fairly neutral stoppage in play. It was a goal kick. If it was a attacking free kick or a penalty, I would have probably waited until there was a neutral stoppage. But overall, I think as officials, we've got lots of different tools in our armory to make sure that the game is safe for the players, but also for ourselves. And so we've got to make the best use of them where we can. And this was my example of doing that on the day. There we go, with 5 minutes of additional time, the referee calls halt to the game. Overall, I thought, you know, it was a convincing win. It was 4-0. I think there was three yellow cards in the game. And as you'll see, we'll get pretty much everyone comes and gives us a handshake who's in our vicinity. Really pretty easy game to officiate. There was a few incidents like you saw, but overall the behaviour of the players was kind of competitive. They both wanted to win, but as soon as it became 2 or 3-0, it became quite a pretty easy game to officiate, nothing much more. So overall, a great experience being on the FA Vase, another FA competition for the season, and hopefully you enjoyed me walking through some of the incidents for the game. If you have any comments, please, if you think I did something wrong, if you think the referee did something wrong or we did something well, please let us know in the comments. We'll definitely try and reply. But also, it would be really appreciated if you can like and subscribe to our channel. We're doing matchday vlogs pretty much every week, so if you like this content, you're at the end of it, so make sure to subscribe, give it a like, and we'll see you next week.